So when a dead body shows up, okay, then we have a search. How did that person arrive that way? And so we find out that basically crime statistics, they basically match up with reality. You don't just have a bunch of people go missing and there's no concern about it. There's no search. So crime stats basically, essentially equal reality. It's not that high IQ people are going out there and murdering thousands and thousands of people and getting away with it. That's absurd.
No, I understand, but like not all sin comes, from the same. I guess different people have different sins.
Yeah. What about white collar crime? What about scamming people? What about adultery? What about things like that? There are millions of other types of messed up actions that you can engage in that are quite immoral.
Let's look at STDs. Which group has the highest rate of STDs? African Americans.
Homosexuals. Okay.
The lowest.
Well, homosexuals are number one.
Well, I don't know. How do they match up with STD rates?
Worse. I think they're
astronomical.
They're the absolute worst. I mean, black.
And they're very high IQ. They're very high IQ, though. The average homosexual supposedly has a higher IQ than the average straight person from their population. So I don't know. Looks like they're using their looks like they're using those high IQs to rationalize some pretty dumb behaviors, some pretty impulsive behaviors.
Okay, well, let's just look at the statistics. What are STD rates by race?
Okay, that's a valid. Yeah, let's plunge into the statistics. Here we go. Deep dive, everyone.
Okay, so it's overwhelmingly something that happens among blacks. Blacks far more than Latinos, Latinos far more than whites, and whites more than Asians. And that's also the same difference in IQ. So there's an excellent article in American Renaissance, Race Differences in Rates of Venereal Disease. So black men are 9 times more likely than white men to have gonorrhea. Hispanic men are twice as likely. Black women are 8 times more likely than white women to be infected. Hispanic women are 3 times more likely. Asians of both sexes are the least likely of any group to have gonorrhea. Syphilis rates was basically eradicated in the United States, but now it's returned. So yeah, 58% of the 28,000 new cases were in homosexual or bisexual men. Blacks most likely to be infected. Black men 5 times more likely than white men. Black women 7 times more likely than white women to have syphilis. Compared to white women, black men are 46 times more likely to have syphilis. Pacific Islander men 26 times, Hispanic men 22 times. Chlamydia, what's it? It's the same sort of thing. It's about 10 to 25 times the rate of for blacks than for Asians, and whites falling somewhere in between. 43 out of 100,000 black babies are born with syphilis, 8 times the infection rate is for whites.
But like, for instance, I'm just looking at new HIV diagnosis in the United States from HIV.gov. There are more, well, I guess, what is this ratio? 3 to 1? Well, yeah, there are more gay white male infections than there are straight black men. And there are presumably more straight black men in the country than there are white gay men. I mean, if gays are, let's say, 5% and 60% of them, so 3% of the population is white gays. Maybe
in the United States, and what about in Africa?
Well,
it's almost like Common Filth was right.